Hey gang, today we are taking a look at Transformers Robots in Disguise Vehicon. Now this is the second release of Vehicon, specifically the one that looks a bit more show accurate, as you can see. So let's go ahead, take him out of the box, take a look at this guy, and see how he holds up against the FE version. Out of the box, I think the figure looks phenomenal in vehicle mode. Now, it's a little less detailed than the first edition figure, as the first edition figure had some more paint apps up front, and in the back it has an actual windshield. But overall, this is a fantastic vehicle mode. Now, I do have to admit one thing. My figure did not come with a gun. And I reached out to the seller of where I bought it, and unfortunately they didn't have any more in stock. So I kind of had to eat that one, but I did get a credit for the figure, which was good. So if I find this guy in stores, I'm probably going to pick up a second version of him so I can have a figure with the gun. Now, as you can see, it is the car mode that the Vehicon Decepticons use, and it's very reminiscent of a Cadillac to me. I don't know why, it just is. But this particular mold is significantly smaller than the first edition figure. I'm not saying it's bad, it's just a lot smaller. And here we have the RID version compared to the first edition version. And as you can see, it's actually quite a bit of difference. In fact, I need to move the FE version up just a little bit. The wheelbase is exactly the same. The wheel centers are exactly the same distance apart. But the actual figure for the FE edition is much bulkier in vehicle mode and much more Batmobile-esque. The RID version is very close, but there is a difference. And here are the paint apps that I was talking about before. Now, the one thing I did find very strange is the Decepticon symbol on the RID version is blue. It's more like an indigo, while the first edition figure is actually Decepticon purple. So, they're fine. I mean, they look fine. But I did notice the size difference, so I wanted to show that to you guys. The other big difference is in the spoiler. The spoiler on the FE version is huge compared to the RID version, which is a lot smaller, and there's a reason for that, which we'll get into in a second. But overall, they look good together, and it's kind of like the Commander version versus the, I don't know, the Scout version. I kind of look at it like that. Transformation for this figure is rather ingenious. We'll start off by coming along to the back bumpers, or back sides, and actually just pulling them open like that. And like the FE version, this section of the vehicle will form the arms and the shoulders. Now this is where it gets really cool. You take the entire back section, starting at the wing, and fold it completely forward like that, and then split the car open or in half like that, and then these whole entire top part and hood of the vehicle folds up. This is really cool. So fold it up, and fold it up, fold, fold, fold. And then we come into the inside of the vehicle and fold out the shins, and they peg into place on the top of the hood. So we've got a peg there and a peg hole there. And there we have the legs. And then we take these bits that are the front headlights and front wheels and fold them slightly back. Now the head reveal is really cool. Pull the back bumper up and the head is revealed. And then you fold the back bumper back. And then for the arms, simply fold the arms out, kind of just twist them around, and then flip out the hands like that. Very, very cool. And here we have the completed robot mode. Now, I do realize since I don't have a gun that it is actually incomplete, but I really like this robot mode. The only real complaint I have about the mode is the elbows look a little odd, but c'est la vie. Like I said, the vehicle mode is really good, and the robot mode does not disappoint in the least bit. It looks good, and it has great posability, which I'll show you in just a second. But I have to admit, I am astonished that the Hasbro engineers were able to get this robot mode, or this toy's robot mode, with such a simple transformation. Really, nothing more than a shell former, but I don't mind. I like it a lot, and it's got light piping in the eyes, the back of the head, so you can get a decent little glowing eyes there. Now, compared to the original FE version, there is actually no difference in size. Well, maybe very, very minuscule difference. So here we go. Now, as you can see, the amount of bulk that the FE version has compared to the RID version is significant. And what else can I say? I honestly think the RID version is a superior version. Yes, the vehicle mode is smaller, but the transformation is much simpler, much more satisfying, a lot less frustrating, and the overall robot mode looks good. Like I said, I still kind of think of the FE version as a commander version, or something that's been around a little longer than, say, the RID version, but the RID version looks phenomenal. Since I don't have the gun for this guy, and before you start yelling at me, go back and watch the very beginning of the review. In the top left-hand corner is where the gun should have been, and it wasn't there. So I've got the FE's version's gun right here, and it can hold it, though barely, in the hand. So yeah, it looks okay. And it can also fit on the shoulder. Now, if I had a couple of more guns, I would... Well, here, actually, I do have some more guns. Here we go. So, yeah, he can have shoulder cannons, and I do like that. So, posability-wise, this figure is quite nice. The head is on a ball joint and can move around quite freely. Shoulders are on a swivel joint, then there's a ball joint just above that. Then there's a swivel joint just underneath the shoulder, a hinge joint for the transformation, and then the door forearm attaches to a ball joint. So you've got a lot of posability and options there. And one thing I did notice is the hands are three-fingered hands, and they look menacing, but at the same time you can have him look like he's an Italian. What you doing? I am Italian, so I can make that joke. No torso articulation, ball joint at the hips, hinge joint at the knees, and then you've got some flexibility here at the foot to get some poses. And all the joints are tight. I'm really impressed. All the joints are nice, tight, and you can get off some really great poses with this guy. So this thing is really hard to get a hold of right now, and I can understand why. It is a great figure, and it's one of my favorite from the line so far. It's not perfect, mind you. It's got a few little nagging issues, like transforming it back, just getting everything lined up is a pain in the butt. Otherwise, the figure's darn good. I mean, the figure is darn good. And this one is going to sell out quickly, no matter where you think you can get it from. No matter what store, no matter online or in a physical location, this sucker's going to sell out pretty darn fast, I think. And it's easy to see why. It's a lot of fun. It's a very easy transformation, but very, as I said, very, very satisfying. And it just looks good in both modes. I really like the black car mode because yeah, in the show it's more of a deep dark purple, but here it's really more black than anything else. But hey, this is a quality figure, and you need to get this one in your collection. If you're a collector of Prime or TF Prime figures, get this guy. Now, I was able to get this from BBTS. I had it pre-ordered in a pack of 3 with Knockout and Hotshot and some other, and this guy. So I was lucky and I was able to get a hold of him, but I don't know, it's sold out at the time of this recording, so good luck getting it. But, you know, get this guy. You need this guy in your collection because he's just freaking awesome.